What up, brothers? It's Clipper King returning for a brand new review on the figure you see in front of you. It's the Avengers Hawkeye Agent Barton figure. Show you up and down it. You possibly saw me unbox 3 figures a week ago. I got the Hawkeye figure, the new Batman figure, and the Luke Skywalker figure. Over the next couple of days I will try and get all 3 reviews up because I have got another figure on the way as well, so I want to get them done. I'll start off by saying I've picked this one to review first simply because when I took them all out the big outer box, this was the first one the first figure I took out. It was the one that I was waiting for the most. That doesn't mean it's the best by any stretch, but it was just the one, for whatever reason, I was buzzing on most and couldn't wait to get. So yeah, this is the first one I took out, and I'm going to do them in the order that I did unbox them, sort of thing. So first, start off by scoring it up. The packaging, as you can see, it's over his shoulder. Got the nice movie shot with the purple haze about it, like the Nick Fury's were sort of black and grey, with the chrome silver Avengers logo and the sort of shiny section behind. As you can see, the camera's sort of reflecting through that, and the slipcover front, like I say, it's grey on this one. I have already seen a preview of the Captain America one. That is like a blue sheen box kind of thing, but very similar to design. So I would say that the Avengers are all going to come in a pretty uniform style box, which is a good idea because you could display the boxes together if you were that way inclined. So yeah, I do like the idea of them all being pretty similar. They ran that idea with the Iron Man figures as well from the Iron Man 2 movie, yeah, and I did like that. Like I said, I do always like a shot of the figure or the character on front of the box, so this has got it. So I do like the artwork, although there's nothing on the back, and on the side all you get is this sort of silver target kind of thing, so there's not much artwork, although the front picture does wrap round, go to his arm, going up to his arrow, as you can see. So nice design, functional. 2 trays inside holding the figure and all the accessories. Does house it well, but all in all a pretty standard box. It were packaged nicely from the seller, and it did come with the plastic carry bag, which is always nice to receive. But all in all, I can't give the packaging top marks because it is a pretty standard box if you were to compare it to a DX box or some of the other more novel boxes that we've had before. So on the packaging, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Just to explain this pose, it's a pretty safe pose to start off with. Give a few views around the figure. You can see he's got his arrows over his shoulder. Pretty relaxed pose. This hand sort of on his hip, and this one holding the folded down bow, as if he's just about to fire it out and extend it and get into action. So pretty relaxed pose to start with. I will try and get you about 5 or 6 poses, give a few ideas that you can run with if you choose to, but I don't like to just set the figure up in one pose because for the viewer I think it becomes very boring. So show you, get you some detail, and obviously I'm going to score every category up like I always do. But like I said, this is the first category, packaging, and I've given it a 4 out of 5. Source material. As you all probably know, this figure comes from the Avengers movie. On its biggest, it's the summer. I stated on a few occasions that I actually preferred it to the Batman movie. I think the Batman movie were more aimed at adults. The Avengers movie were more aimed at children. But to be honest, I think there were more action in the Avengers film, so I slightly preferred that. Although I'm not saying Batman's a bad film. I've moved onto the Goblin stand, which is pretty much my stand that I do for posing, because it just gives me more options because of the grabbing section. I can do him in jumping poses. So, source material. The movie is awesome. I think everybody would admit that sort of thing. Just bear with me 1 second. That's fucking dropped down. Get on there, you son of a bitch. That's better. Yeah, the movie is awesome. Most people would agree. I know some don't particularly like it, but most do. Clint Barton's not a main character in it. He's sort of the second tier character, and it would have been easy for him to be overlooked behind Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Captain America. But because of how the plot went, where he sort of spent the first half of the movie as a bad guy, and then sort of came round halfway through and ended up on the side of good, I think it made his character very interesting. More so probably than the Black Widow character. So yeah, he's a cool character, but obviously he's not what you would class a key character. But it does make a cool figure, as you can see. The source material for this figure is something pretty badass. And like I say, although I'd be lying if I said he was main man in it, because to me the main man really was Hulk / Iron Man, and then so they worked their way down. So then you'd have Thor and Captain America, probably Nick Fury, and then Hawkeye. But the source material, I would have given a 5, but like I said, because he's a second tier character, I'm going to give him a rather stingy 4 out of 5 for source material. Now obviously that don't really represent the figure, because the way they've made this figure from the source material, I think Hot Toys have done an awesome job, and they've made the figure really sought after, because not many figures now sell out from Hot Toys, but this one, as I see it, is already doing that, and Nick Fury definitely did that quite fast. So yeah, so like I said, I would give it a 4 out of 5 on source material. Now moving on to the pose I've got, obviously I've given him the archery pose. He's sort of looking straight forward along the arrow. The arrowhead I'm using is the one with the Tesseract power running through it, as you can see, although I thought it would get. Zoom in. You can see the detail on the arrowhead. He's looking pretty much straight down the arrow. His straight arm. Down his back, he's got the quiver with the arrows in. Obviously a modern day quiver, it's not fucking Robin Hood. And then obviously pulling the bow back with that. And I've just got the arrow just above his top finger and sort of wrapped around the rope. So it is quite secure, and this is probably the pose I will go from put him into when I've done the review, like the day-to-day pose. Although I think I'm going to be able to get some better, more extreme poses for the sake of this review. So, but like I said, the section I've done is source material, and I've given it a 4 out of 5. Rolling on to facial likeness. This is a funny one for me, this, if I'm honest, because when I look at it, it is definitely Hawkeye, the character, because he's got, in the film, if you look, he's got sort of this jowls, what they call jowls sort of thing. I know some people might not know that term, but it's sort of the area down side of your mouth. And if you look in the film, they are a little bit droopy. It's like saggy, like bulldog face kind of thing. I know some people won't understand what I mean by that, but that's what the character's got, and that's what the head sculpt's got. So when I say it's a funny one, the likeness is pretty much dead on to the film. But if you were to take the head to make a Bourne Legacy, or whatever it's called, the new Bourne film, or a character from another movie played by Jeremy Renner, I think it wouldn't be that accurate. That might sound funny, but like I say, it is definitely him, but he's just something a tiny little bit off. When I've seen him in other films, I think he don't look like that, but then when I watch clips of the Avengers movie, then he does look like that. I know that's fucking weird, brothers, and I'm sorry, but it is an awesome head sculpt either way. You can see the fine detail. I'm trying to get close without knocking his glasses out in his hand. You can see the hair sculpt and the colours through the hair. The eyes, nice and glassy and lifelike. Subtle skin textures, really nice. So, yeah, the facial likeness is a really good one. I am going to still give it a 5 out of 5. I've spoke to a friend of mine, James, about this figure on Skype, and he loves the likeness, and I do as well. But like I said, there's something just... It's not off. I won't go on Facebook and start typing out comments about saying his nose is slightly too long and his ears stick out too far. It's not that bad. It's just that, like I say, if we were just taking into account Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye, then it is dead on. If you Jeremy Renner the actor in other films, then there's something off with it. So I hope that makes sense. It probably don't, but hey ho. So explain the pose. As you can see, one of the bowstring hands will hold his glasses. So the pose I've gone for is he's just took his sun gigs off, chilling out. Again, he's got the bow folded down, just about to flick it out. Again, a pretty relaxed pose, but I did that because I didn't want his glasses on. I wanted him sort of mid position so I could show the facial likeness. So just give you a few angles at that in case it's a pose you want to take. So yeah, not a bad one. Photo opportunities, I suppose. So yeah, like I said, I've given the likeness a 5 out of 5. Some might argue that it's not dead on, but it's definitely good enough for Clipper King. Moving on to the outfit section, and I'm also going to do the articulation in this section because the pose I've got, it pretty much displays everything. I can get to everything I need to, sort of thing. I'll show you the pose first. The leaping pose. So he's got the grapple hook fitting on end of his arrow, so he's trying to attach himself to something. Again, it's like an archery style one, but I'm using the new Goblin base, which allows me to do anything I can really think of, sort of thing. I've got his right foot supporting him with his foot against the translucent pole. Got his quiver still on his back, and like I said, got a different string hand holding onto the arrow. So yeah, so starting off with the outfit, it's pretty much made up of the maroon coloured flak jacket, which sort of clicks over the top of a rubberized undervest kind of thing. I'm not going to strip it down because there's other reviews out there because I'm quite late on this one. So if you want to check it, either have a look on other reviews or go to YouTube and look at the separate parts that you can buy for the figure. So you can see the rubberized vest underneath there, and then the sort of the section with the zip up front kind of thing. And it's very similar feeling material to the new Goblin figure. It's feels durable. It is a stitched zipper. It's not a working zipper, and obviously you can see all the detail on it. The silver highlights, the shield logo, which is in central screen, the arm pads and everything. Obviously his hands are sculpted, and all his left hands are like this one with the straps and that, and the fingertip things on, and the sort of bracelet thing which would support him. And then on the right hand, which is where he holds the bow, he has this support, like a forearm support for the tension through the bow. So yeah, moving down, and the thing I really like about this figure is the material on the trousers is really durable feeling, but it's got lycra through it, so you can stretch it and move it. And I hope that the new Captain America suit is made of this same material, obviously in the correct colour for the Captain America, because it will move about. You can pretty much open his legs right up and the suit will move with the figure underneath. It doesn't, so there's no resistance from it, sort of thing. Or to an extent, so to speak. You can tell there is lycra through it, but it feels more durable than lycra. And then obviously all the highlights, the sections, the straps and everything, they don't come undone, but they do look awesome. So it is, at first glance you think it's a pretty simple costume, but it's not really. It's really well tailored, fits in perfect, and yeah, I really do like it, and it is functional. The knee pads, again, are black, stitched into the sort of navy blue trouser section. His boots and shin guards are all sculpted, which does hinder the articulation a little bit, but I will get into articulation more in a second. But yeah, the outfit looks good, it is functional, and you can't really ask for much more than that. Obviously, the sunglasses, they do fit him. They are sculpted to that head sort of thing, so they do fit him perfectly. So yeah, really nice outfit, to say how simple it is. A couple of little nitpicks with it. These things here, I don't understand what the fuck they're for. They do attack, what they've got like an hook and an eye stitched onto the belt. So I think it's to make him so he's still well articulated, but make him look right as well, because behind here it sort of attaches, but it's one of them things that pops off all the time. Very reminiscent of the fucking flares on the Iron Man. It's there and it's popping out all the time, and it's pissing you off a little bit. Same on the other side, this thing here, I don't really understand what it's about. Another thing with the outfit that I could show you, but I ain't got the clip with me. The strap is a separate thing to the quiver, and it goes through and you wrap it round so it holds that in place. It also comes with a catch that sort of attaches to the strap there and then hooks onto the back of the suit. Firstly, there's no real use for it. I think it's supposed to hold it in a strict position, but it will hold itself in position anyway. And the other thing's a proper bastard to get on. It's really hard to get it to get it on and to stay on. So there was no need for that. So if you class that as costume, it really didn't make sense. But like I said, it doesn't hinder it too much because you can still get nice poses and his arrows come off his bow. So I'll just move that for now. So it's as if he's fired it. So moving on to articulation while I'm in this. The first thing, and I knew it was going to be a problem when I first saw the figure, it's got a muscular style body, which means only a right angle bend on the elbow. Now that's all well and good on that because that arm's going to be straight pretty much most of the time, so the detailing is appreciated. On this arm though, it's got a really awkward bend on the arm, so it never really, you think how an archer would stand, that hand would pretty much be up by his jaw. Now because of the elbow joint, it won't go that close, so to compensate that, they sort of made the hand sculpts sort of at a funny angle, which takes him closer, so you could get it about that tight. I hope that makes sense. But I just wish they'd have used a double jointed elbow, even though they've got the sculpted arm. That's one negative. The head articulation is good enough for what you're going to need. It will swivel and dip and rise. The legs, like I've said, are true type legs, so they will do anything and the suit doesn't restrict it. The ankles are restricted because that boot is all one piece and it is very hard plastic. So pretty much as articulated as it is there is all you could do. It rotates nicely, but there's no dip or anything on it. So yeah, that's pretty much the articulation. It will swivel and it has got a crunch, so good articulation there. So like I said, the only thing you really needed it to do, it doesn't do. It needed the double jointed elbow, which it didn't get. But other than that, you can't really complain. So to score his outfit, I've given that 5 out of 5 because like I said, it is functional and it does look good. The articulation, I've marked it down as a 4 out of 5. I'll just show you the pose again as I pull away. I'll get him reposed and we'll roll on. Moving on to extras and value, I want to cover both together. First off, I'll talk you through the pose. Right, he's gone to more crossbow style stance. Got a different arrowhead on. Just wait for the camera to focus. Not going to zoom in, I don't know it has. So yeah, they are detailed, the arrowheads, but a lot of them are very similar. I'll cover that in a minute. So yeah, got him in the crossbow stance with his the arm that he's drawing back, sort of into his stomach, and the bow arm out straight. Again, does look good, but obviously you're going to see the joint around the elbow, but it's not a big problem. You know it's going to be there. It's got to be there for the articulation. But I think that I like the articulation. I do like to pose them like statues, but I do like the fact that I can repose them. So I will accept the joints, although I prefer figures that don't have them, if that makes sense. So that's the pose I've gone for. Leg spread, just balancing himself. And I've got him set up with all his accessories, which I'm going to go through. So first and foremost, the things on him. Obviously he's got the stringed bow, which there is articulation sort of on these hinges. It will fold back on itself slightly, but it doesn't fold down at this hinge, I don't think, although I've not really tried it, if I'm honest, so it could do. I could be wrong there. You can see it's got an arrow and an arrowhead there, and then it's got 15 other arrows in there, which look awesome, but if I'm honest, they're a proper bastard to put into quiver, and the amount they give you, you've got to sort of push them down into quiver, and then down. As you can see, every arrow goes down from there, down into the bottom section. Let me turn it around so you get a proper look. Down into bottom section. I'll show you from the other side as well. Sorry if you can hear the figure turning, but I'm trying to rotate it on the shelf kind of thing. Oh, bear with me one sec. So yeah, as you can see, the arrows sort of start there. You've got to push them through sort of the hole in the top, and then this there's a section here that sort of grips the arrow, and then you push it all the way down. There's another section at bottom here what grips the arrow, and that's where the arrow stops, and then it goes down to this sort of mock-up arrowheads that do rotate, which is a really nice touch, but obviously those don't come out because you get the arrowheads in a separate tray. I'll show you that. So here you can see you've got the grapple hook one, the closed grapple hook, and then all these, you get a couple with a tesseract blue in it, which is that one, and there's one there, and then the others, they're all like silver and gold, all different, but like I say, all very similar. So it's good that they give us all those, but if I'm honest, I think you'd probably pick your favourite arrowhead and stick with it, kind of thing. So yeah. On top of that, you get the unstringed bow, which is totally articulated. It will fold sort of here and here on both ends, and it will close up, and as I displayed it earlier, it will close right down. This is the catch that goes onto his quiver. It does fit onto sort of the bag strap that goes round and then onto the back of his outfit, but like I said, it's a fucker to put on, and it don't really make any difference because you can sort of, if that's not where you want the bag, you can sort of rotate it around him to drop it down lower, which would bring that section round, or you can push it away and it'll show out higher over his shoulder. So I don't really see the point of that little catch. The hands you get a sort of a pointing hand, which if I show you, it's going to be hard to do. It does look really tightly closed, and if it's sculpted closed, but it's not. You can push the fingers away from the thumb and put an arrow inside, but it's really hard to do. Look, you can move it away and put an arrow sort of all the way through his hand. Look, it's hard to show it because I'm doing it left-handed. So yeah, there's that hand, as if you were taking an arrow out or just lining an arrow up. So again, well sculpted hand. The big wrist connections as well on this one, a little bit bigger than normal, probably the same size as Thor's were, not the little ones that we sometimes get. The next one, as you can see as well, I have left them in because they're a bastard to switch in and out for some reason. I think it's because the hands are quite hard plastic. This one sort of grabs the string with 3 fingers, so it's like that, and it does hold the string quite well, and then you rest the arrow just above. Yeah, you get that left hand. Then you get a relaxed left hand. The left hand that's on, which is sort of, it's suited, it will hold the glasses, and it sort of suits it better when you're sort of underarm with the string like that. So again, a nice sculpted hand. And then on the right hands, you've got one pretty much for holding the bow, and then you've just got a relaxed one. On the hands, I would have liked a set of fists as well, if I'm honest. I think a set of fists, you should always get them. Maybe if it's the fist, if it comes wearing fists and then the relaxed hands are spare, whatever, but I think a fist and relaxed hands are a must for all figures. It's just that people, particularly superheroes, when they stand, you would notice on poster shots, they always clench the fist, so you should be able to do that with the figure. So yeah, I would have liked another set of just fisted hands. You do get the generic style stand with the Avengers Hawkeye on it, but like I said, for the sake of this review, I have been using the new Goblin stand, and you get the instructions. The instruction manual is pretty much standard, what we always get. The only thing I needed to look at it for were how that catch was supposed to go on back, and when I saw how it's supposed to work, I thought there's no point to it, so I just put that away in the accessory bag. And then, like I said, down there, you've got the arrowheads. So, taking into account you did get 16 arrows, although you probably only ever use one of them, and you get all the arrowheads, you get like 6 hands, although the majority are lefts, 2 bows. I think the accessories are pretty good. I've known figures come with a lot less and be in the similar price range. So on the accessories, I'm going to give it a 5. Maybe a pretty generous 5 because there were no spare head and no spare outfit, but they've sort of just put enough in to make it worthwhile kind of thing. So yeah. The value. Right, this is going to be an hard one on these 3 reviews for the simple reason is I did a deal to sell my DX01 and 02 Joker. Now I've never mentioned before how much I got, because I wanted to respect the buyer. Now, the fact is I need to tell you because I need to tell you what I paid out. Now, like I say, you're entitled to your opinions, but I'd sooner, on this, guys, you keep your opinions to yourself for the respect of the person who bought those figures. I don't need to come on and say he's not paid enough or he's paid too much or whatever. So if you have got opinions, please keep them to yourselves on this one. And I'm only telling you because I want to tell you how much then I've spent and what I've bought with that money. So basically, the DX01 and 02, I sold them to a guy in Canada and he gave me $1,400, and that was for the 2 figures shipped. Now, I think I got a really good price, and he was very happy to eventually get these figures, particularly because mine had the posable cape, the Bruce Wayne head, and a few little extras I threw in. So he was happy to get that, and I was happy to have that $1,400. Now, I went straight to a seller in Hong Kong, and it's a guy I've used before called The Grey Man. I know some people have had problems with him. I never have, so I will continue to use him, and the next figure I've got coming is coming through him as well. So, yeah. So I contacted him straight away. I told him the figures I wanted. I saw the prices were getting ridiculous. The Hawkeye at the time he'd got for about 200, I think about £210 shipped. Now, to convert for you, $1,400 is about £860 in English. So I said to him, I want Hawkeye, I want Luke Skywalker, and I want the new Batman. He says, I can do you all 3, shipped together, and you can have them for $980. Now, $980 is about £600. So I got all 3 for £600. So you could say, well, you've paid £200 each. Now, I know that's not the case because Batman were going for nearly £250, and I know that Luke Skywalker were going for close to £300 with certain sellers in Hong Kong. So if you work that out, he's probably charged me, I don't know, if you call it £200 each shipped, then you could work it out like that. But like I said, when you work out that Luke Skywalker costs more than that and Batman costs more than that, then he's got to have sold me Hawkeye for about £100, which is unheard of because it's we all know it's worth more than that. So personally, I think I got good value. Although, if I'd have paid for it as a one standalone figure at £205, it's way too much. This figure should retail for about £130, £140, no more. So you have got to make these deals, boys. Remember, don't just go and pay the asking price. Go and talk to the guys. They're not fucking dragons. They won't bite your head off. Offer them stuff or whatever. Talk to them. Show them a bit of loyalty and they'll show you a little bit. Like I say, I know I've still paid too much, but I'm a UK collector. I pretty much don't have no choice. So on the value, I'm only going to give it a 3, and that's because if I would have paid £205 for this figure, I would have been fucking gutted because it's never been worth £205. But like I say, as a part of a 3-figure set for £600, then I'm happy because I know that the DX Batman and Joker were both more than £200. So that's why I've just put the value at that price. I'm going to put a shortcut in here, get the other Avengers in around him, and tell you the overall score. Right, so to conclude this review, I'll just show you the Avengers assembled. Obviously, Hulk still to come, maybe Black Widow, I don't know. And then obviously I'm going to get the new Captain America and new Thor when they come out. But as it stands, I'm liking the look of them 5 guys together. Score-wise, Hawkeye got 30 out of possible 35, which is a really good score for a standard MMS figure. And obviously, it's a figure that arrived on the same day as 2 awesome DX figures, which I will be reviewing soon, so stay tuned to my channel for that. But, like I said, all in all those figures are available, boys. If you want to get a display looking like that, you know where to pick them up. And I will just mention as well, I have sold my Daredevil figure, so respect to the buyer of that figure. And, like I said, I would also sell the Punisher, the Wolverine, and the Blade, as long as the price were right. So I just wanted to mention that. But I do like the look of that shelf. I hope you guys do as well, because they're looking pretty badass. I just want to say on this review, I've been doing this review, it's took me all fucking afternoon for a simple reason. I should be getting paid danger money, because I mentioned in one of my last videos, I've got my brother staying here at the moment, because him and his missus have fell out, and at the weekends he has his kid. And like Morris has said before, you bring a 4 or 5 year old near your collection and shit's going to happen. So I just want to show you this little jabroni. He's been watching me every move, and he's every time I speak, he's, Uncle Rick, why does this do this? Why does this do this? Do you want to say out, Lennon?
I give Hawkeye out of a 5.
Wait a minute, let me just
4.
stop you there. Let me just stop you. Who asked you for a score?
I don't know.
You just thought you'd chuck that in yourself,
Yeah,
did you?
I thought I'd do that, but I'd give Hawkeye out of a 5 and a 6.
It's only out of 5, you knobstickle. You can't give him a 5 or a 6. You can
Well,
only...
I'd give a 5 and a 4 then.
A 5 and a 4 for what?
Yeah, I'd give a... For him, for the model, I'd give a 5 and a 4.
Right. Which one's your favourite on top shelf?
I think Hawkeye.
You think Hawkeye's your favourite now?
Yeah.
So why do you keep asking me to light Iron Man up?
Because it's a better view in the night.
All right, and you know your shit, don't you, when it comes to these
Yeah.
figures?
When it comes to figures, they'll just get happy.
Lennon, you don't make no sense, pal. You're funny, but you're a little jabroni. And what did you think, when I've been filming this and I've been
Yeah.
trying to cut it together, what do you think I should say at start of every part?
What up, brothers?
It's who? Who is it? You don't know it all, do you? But every time I cut and then want to start again, Uncle Rick, why are you saying what up, brothers? Uncle Rick, Uncle Rick. You're like a stuck record, aren't you?
And all morning I've been asking him when you're going to film him, when you're going to film him, and when you're going to film him.
And what, we've finally done it, haven't we?
Yeah.
And are you helping me do Luke and Batman review?
Yes.
Oh, you fuckers like, no way, Jose, you're going to bed, my friend.
I am not.
Say goodbye, because you're out of here,
Bye.
collectors. No, say, what up, brothers? It's the young Clipper King returning. Say that.
What up, brothers? It's the young king returning.
Not King, Clipper King.
Clipper King returning.
Say it from the beginning.
What up, brothers? It's the
Young.
young king, flicking king,
Clipper King, not flicking.
Clipper King returning.
Now say this, and I'm out of here.
I'm out of it.
And he's out of here, and I'm out of here.